This means that the salvation of your soul is different from being successful in life. Now, it should not surprise you as a Christian that an unsaved person could be more successful in terms of material wealth and financial prosperity than a saved person. Although he might not have acknowledged the universal mercy of God for the salvation of his soul, but if God chooses to make him successful, God will. Now, this is what the Bible says. This is what God does. He gives his best, the sun to warm, the rain to nourish, to everyone regardless, the good and the bad, the nice and the nasty. That you get from the Message Bible, Matthew chapter 5, from verse 45 to 46. This was how the prophet Jeremiah complained about this. Righteous are you, O Lord. When I complain to you, yet I would plead my cause before you. Why does the way of the wicked prosper? Why do all who are treacherous thrive? Jeremiah chapter 12, verse 1. And Malachi has this to say. And now we call the arrogant blessed. Evildoers not only prosper, but they put God to the test and they escape. That you see in Malachi chapter 3, verse 15. Now let's relate this complaints from Jeremiah, Prophet Jeremiah and Malachi to, let's bring it to context, okay? Now, when we were growing up, and then, at some point, young girls that choose to become promiscuous or become very loose and all that. And it seems like, wow, they're enjoying themselves, enjoying life. And then one decent girl just feels like, okay, let me just try. Let me just give it a try. And, the promiscuous girls and the very loose girls who have been doing these things over and over, not getting caught, no issues, just the day when that decent girl decides to just say, let me try. Before you know what is happening, bam, she comes back and says, I'm pregnant, and then and hell will be let loose, like, what? And her other friends will say, but we've been doing this even with our recklessness and our carelessness. We've been doing this, we never got pregnant. How come you just try this once and you are pregnant? Or something bad could happen to her. Meanwhile, these ones have been doing it back and forth, over and over, and with their recklessness and their carelessness, and nothing happened to them. Just that one day, just one day, that the decent girl decides to just try. Wahala gas. And then she gets into trouble. Okay, and I also know that this is a very sensitive subject matter. Now look at this scenario. Two ladies, when they were both single, they lived different lives. This one, A, was living a very promiscuous and very loose life. Probably had some abortions, in the course of her escapades and all that. And B, lived a very decent, Christian girl lifestyle. Nothing like that, no drama, nothing like that, And then both of them eventually get married. And A, who was the very promiscuous one, before you knew what was happening, she had her first child and the second child and the third child. And B, who lived a very decent, life, a very good Christian girl lifestyle, is still struggling to have children. Is still struggling with the fruit of the womb. What do you say about that? And these things are things we see most times. Like, this one. Or maybe even in the case of marriage, this one who had lived very rough life. Before you knew what was happening, she's married. And then this one who had lived very decent, calm life still hasn't gotten married. And then you're like, this thing, how, why?